of that very important meeting that is underway. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his British counterpart Keir Starmer in Mumbai holding that meeting. And there you see both sides discussing, where the focus primarily on trade, technology, defense, as this meeting marks a significant step in solidifying bilateral relations outlined in the Vision 2035 roadmap. This primarily to enhance the India-UK Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. There you see delegations from both sides, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his British counterpart Keir Starmer meeting at Raj Bhavan in Mumbai. The two leaders holding these talks to further strengthen the India-UK Comprehensive Strategic Partnership as outlined in the Vision 2035 roadmap. Remember, this is the third meeting between the two leaders since Starmer became British Prime Minister in July 2024. The first two meetings were held in Chequers in Buckinghamshire in July this year and on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro last November. Starmer is in India on a two-day visit, this being his first official visit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, joined by NSA Ajit Doval, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri, and on the UK side, Starmer was accompanied by Peter Kyle, Secretary of State for Business and Trade, and Jason Stockwood, Minister of State for Investment. The discussions that primarily are focused on enhancing cooperation in trade, investment, technology, defense, climate action, and education. The two leaders taking part in the India-UK CEO Forum and the Global FinTech Fest 2025. Let me cut across and bring in my colleague Geeta Mohan to throw more light on how this meeting is panning out and the agenda that is making headlines.
Well, it is a very important meeting that we're looking at between the two premiers. This comes after the free trade agreement that was signed between the two countries. Of course, there are concerns that the two sides have, particularly India, when it comes to visas, which the UK Premier very clearly had said that is not going to be on the table in terms of relaxation at this point in time. But they're coming with a massive delegation, 125 members in the delegation from vice chancellors who would be looking at expanding universities and bringing them to India as well, as also entrepreneurs, CEOs, leaders from various sectors. And the conversations are taking place in Mumbai. So the messaging very clear that the focus of this visit is less to do with other areas and other realm of bilateral relations between India and the UK, and more to do with trade and how to take that forward. So apart from the bilateral conversations that the two sides have had, and there is going to be a press statement very shortly, the two leaders are going to address the media, but there have been other forms of conversations and engagements as well, particularly to do with business and how to take that forward. So that's why Mumbai was chosen, and the focus remains the FTA that has been signed between the two countries, CETA, in other words, how the terminology which is used for this agreement, the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, and how to ensure that after the agreement is signed, that there's more forward movement. This is also looking at the times, the changing times, where there have been a lot of challenges in supply chain resilience, ensuring that there are alternatives, that there are markets. When Europe and India both are fighting tariff wars with America, when we're looking at oil becoming a major issue of contention when it comes to Russia, in that context, having that resilience in supply chain is very important, and that's the reason why the two countries have focused majorly in ensuring that there is a trade agreement between the two countries for free flow of goods and services.
Oh yes, absolutely, Geeta. And while the major focus is on economic partnership and strengthening that, regional and global issues of mutual interest that are likely to figure as part of talks between the two leaders, if you could throw more light on that.
Well, absolutely. absolutely. The conversations are not going to be confined to, or have not been confined to, since the conversations are almost over at the fag end, and the leaders are going to step out now for a press statement. The conversations were not supposed to be confined to just bilateral, regional, and global issues. Really important at a time when we are seeing so many conflicts across the world. There are conversations that are happening in Egypt, which has been of great focus to Europe, is also India. India being a very important partner of Israel, as also a country that has stood by the issue of the statehood for Palestine, and seeking peace in that context. But also the Russia-Ukraine war, because everybody now has been looking at the imports from Russia, oil imports from Russia, and how America has responded to India's actions. In the past, that was not the case. India could cite strategic autonomy, but this time around, Trump has taken on India. It's Europe that has been rather understanding, particularly the United Kingdom. So there are going to be a lot of conversations on how to ensure that there's peace and stability, not just in the region, but globally as well. And what's the role that India can play and the United Kingdom can play. So these conversations are certainly going to take place, or have taken place, in context of leadership role that we see UK and India playing.
Oh yes, Geeta, and even how sources told India today that there is a likely chance that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also bring up the issue of economic fugitives taking shelter in the UK and how they must be extradited to face the law in India. Is that likely to happen?
Well, absolutely. At every official level, that certainly is a part of conversations between India and the UK. But there are two areas, Suresha, that come to mind. One is economic fugitives such as Nirav Modi and Vijay Mallya, who have been in the UK for a very long time. The question is UK becoming safe haven for anybody who wants to escape law in India. The other aspect is security concerns for India when it comes to Khalistanis. Not so long ago, Indian mission was under attack, or came under attack. And not so long ago, Indian diplomats were threatened. So Khalistani extremism is also a part of the conversation that is had at every level. We do not know whether if at the leadership level it will be taken up yet again, but yes, it is a reiteration by India every now and again of the concerns that India has when it comes to people finding safe haven in the United Kingdom who want to escape laws of India, and when it comes to Khalistani security concerns that India has with regards to anti-India elements getting space in the United Kingdom.
And clearly, Geeta, the talks that are futuristic in nature, given the fact that the Global FinTech Fest that is being attended also, where this year's theme is Empowering Finance for a Better World, powered by AI, augmented intelligence, innovation and inclusion, and focusing on how technology and human side can together build a more ethical and sustainable financial future. So the two nations certainly working towards that goal.
Well, that's right. Futuristic conversations also. Apart from the fact that there is going to be a lot of conversation on bilateral agenda, trade, there are areas that have to do with technology, fintech. That's also a major part of business and startup world that India wants enhanced in the country as well. Cultural ties, we're looking at a lot of major production houses that the Prime Minister has announced to visit, which is very, very important. And then Sam also met the football fans in the city of Mumbai. So a lot of aspects that were covered, from cultural, education, trade. But like you said, fintech is a very important part of the conversation, because it's looking towards the future. It's futuristic. It's talking about not just the financial technology economy, but also of tech, AI. These are aspects that have also been covered by the two leaders or by the two countries in the conversation. So yes, there is a lot of forward movement and momentum that we're seeing when it comes to conversations on all aspects, including technology, fintech industry, and AI in particular as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely, Geeta. And since you mentioned, of course, Keir Starmer's visit to Yash Raj Films, that also happened yesterday, and the focus also on fostering creative partnerships, including potential joint film projects, cultural exchange programs, and how he also is looking at an exchange on this front.
Are setting up campuses in India, with the University of Southampton leading the charge by setting up a campus in India in July.
All right, Geeta, I come back to you as we just had those visuals played out of Southampton University, and then educational exchange is also going to be a key focus as part of this meeting with regards to students studying in the UK and vice versa. Could there be a detailed conversation on that front?
Oh, that's right. Absolutely, because, you know, the UK High Commissioner had met us not so long ago, and she was really talking, Lindy Cameron, she was really talking about how there are universities that are setting up campuses in India, which would make very high-end educational facilities and education itself available and accessible to Indians at an affordable rate. Why? Because they will no longer have to worry about staying in the United Kingdom, which is a huge part of the fee structure that they have to really pay up when they travel to the United Kingdom. So a lot of universities have been coming